What? What is this? I stood frozen, holding a photo I had discovered in my husband's apartment where he lived alone for work. In the photo, he's dressed in a black tuxedo, standing next to a woman who isn't me. She's in a wedding dress, and they're both grinning from ear to ear. And next to the photo, documents needed to issue a marriage certificate. Why would he have this? The documents listed my husband Ryan's name, and next to it, Jessica was written. Jessica? But this photo is unmistakable. This can't be real. The woman is someone I've known very well for a long time. Shocked, I slumped to the floor. I wish this was just a bad dream. No matter how many times I muttered it, the reality in front of me didn't change. My name is Lauren, and I'm 34 years old. I married Ryan 2 years ago. He gets along well with my parents. Whenever we visit my hometown, he shares drinks with Dad and sends flowers to Mom, who loves beautiful and cute things, every month. He's a genuinely kind person. About 6 months after our happy married life began, Ryan got transferred. The twist? His new location was in the same state as my parents. Normally, I'd happily go with him, but I had just become a manager at work. If I go with him, I'll have to quit my job, but I've worked hard and finally started to see results. I don't want to give that up. Conflicted, I agonized daily, but he would always comfort me. Even if we're apart, my feelings for you won't change. I love you. Leaving me with these comforting words, he moved for his job. It goes without saying, I fell for him even more. For a year and a half, we kept in touch daily, and he always came back to me on weekends. I'm always rooting for you, Lauren, so keep working hard. He'd say that every time we met. I was on cloud 9. Hey, I'll come to your place for your birthday next week, Ryan. What? I always feel bad that you're the one visiting. Plus, I want to see where you're living now. I said this, believing he'd be pleased. But then, no, you can't come. Why? I got an important work assignment that day. If you come over, I'll be doing overtime and it'll get late. I'd feel bad making you wait. But it's your birthday? Work doesn't care about birthdays. Well, in that case, I'll clean the apartment and cook something nice for us. Lauren, you're swamped with work every day. Don't worry about it. So reluctantly, we decided to celebrate Ryan's birthday at my place the following week. However, I had taken a personal day off for his birthday, so I secretly decided to visit him where he was working out of town. On the day, although his place was in the same state as our hometown, it was an unfamiliar station, so I had to rely on the address to find his apartment. Along the way, I spotted a grocery store and began making a mental shopping list to match the feast I was planning to cook. Of course, I had also hidden his favorite brand's shirt in my bag as a birthday gift. He's going to love this, I thought to myself, finally locating the apartment where he lived alone. The moment I used the spare key that I had but never needed, I was filled with indescribable excitement and joy. What if he didn't want me to come because his place is a mess? But then, when I opened the door, what I saw inside was completely different from what I had expected. What is this? Pink, frilly curtains hung by the windows. A red, heart-shaped cushion lay on a white sofa. Did I get the wrong apartment? I double-checked the nameplate outside, and no, it was definitely Ryan's place. What's going on? Confused, I cautiously entered the apartment. That's when I spotted something shocking on a shelf next to the closet. Is this a photo of... It was a wedding photo, featuring a bride and a groom. Worse yet, there were documents necessary for issuing a marriage certificate, signed by Ryan and Jessica. This can't be. I wish this was a bad dream. Devastated, I slumped to the floor. My thoughts are always with you, even when I'm away. Just wait for me here. I promise I'll come back. That's what my husband told me. He had always said, I love you, Lauren, whenever he returned. I had been holding on to those words, and now this betrayal? Shaken to my core, tears uncontrollably started flowing. I don't know how much time had passed when... Let's go back to that restaurant soon. Let's do it for Jessica's birthday next time. Voices I recognized came from behind the door. Hey, what happened to the key? Oh no, did you lose it? Should I go out? I could hear them fumbling for keys near the front door. I don't want to see them now. What should I do? In a panic, I grabbed my bag and shoes and hid in the closet. The door opened, and the footsteps sounded closer. Holding my breath, the two figures appeared in front of me. The man was undeniably my husband, Ryan. Next to him, a woman, dressed in designer clothes, looked up at him with a smitten expression. It was my mom. "Hey, wear the branded shirt I gifted you." The gift she handed him is the same one I'd picked out for him. He puts it on with a pleased grin. "You look great in it," she says. "You know, I accidentally told Lauren I wanted this too," he replies. "Then maybe she's buying the same thing right now, not knowing we've already exchanged gifts," she suggests. "Could be," he agrees. "You better wear the one I gave you, Ryan." "Of course," he confirms. Peeking out from the closet, I see them lean in for a kiss. This is really happening right in front of me, just as I feared. Why is this happening? Is this some kind of joke? I think, as my mind goes blank, swirling with these thoughts. Frozen with shock and confusion, I can only stand still in the closet, hoping they don't find me. I can't handle this anymore, I think. Then I hear words that make me doubt my ears. "Never thought this would go so smoothly," one voice says. "Conspiring with your own daughter to marry me? You're something else, Jessica," another chimes in. "I have a husband, you know. If we get caught, I'd lose a lot in the divorce settlement," the first voice adds. Their faces reveal smug smiles. "Go smoothly? What plan?" I think. Ryan and I met through a high school friend. My job was my life back then, and seeing this, a friend said to me, "Why don't you meet him? He's a good guy." That's how I was introduced to Ryan. There was no way my mom was involved. I talked him into it when he came to the place where I was working part-time, one voice explains. "Jessica is persuasive," the other adds. "You fell for it too, Ryan," the first laughs. "I got lucky when I fell for it. I'm so glad I approached Jessica back then," the other says. "When Ryan asked me to have coffee during that part-time job, I thought it was a joke. But look at the happy times it's led to," the first voice recounts. "I thought you were only a bit older than me when I approached you. Never thought there'd be a 20-year age difference. You're so beautiful, Jessica. It's hard to believe," the second voice adds. "I still am, aren't I?" the first one asks. "Absolutely," confirms the other. What is going on? Was our meeting engineered by these two all along? And here I was, loving my husband sincerely. They must have been laughing at me behind my back all this time. This isn't going down without a fight. I discreetly pulled out my cell phone from my bag and began recording their actions from inside the closet. Sitting side by side on the sofa, intertwining their legs, they whispered to each other and chuckled. When my husband started to unbutton my mom's blouse and kiss her, a surge of nausea hit me. I quickly covered my mouth and forced it down. That's when Mom said, "What's that?" and suddenly stood up, walking towards the closet. "Please don't come here. Did she notice me?" I held my breath, and she walked past me to pick up a photo frame from the adjacent shelf. "Nice to see you put up this picture." "Of course, it's a picture from our secret wedding." "I hope the day comes soon when I can submit all the documents for our marriage license." "I could divorce Lauren any time, you know." "I'm sorry, just a little longer." "When will you finally pay off that $70K debt?" "It'll take a few more years. Till then, my husband is the perfect ATM." "Same here. Lauren is only good for working after all." Calling Dad, who has been by her side for over 35 years since she got pregnant with me at 20, an ATM. I couldn't believe such a terrible woman is my mom. And to think my husband calls me an ATM and laughs about it is just cruel. They're idiots, aren't they? Lauren falls for anything I say. She even believed I was working today, on my birthday. She's foolish, indeed. And your husband has no clue, does he? Of course not. I put on the act of the perfect wife in front of him. Classic Jessica. He travels so much, he'll never find out. The husband I loved, the mother I trusted, turned out to be my greatest enemies. I was seething with anger. He lifted her up and headed towards the bed, turning off the lights. In the dim room, voices I never wanted to hear echoed in my brain. I couldn't even cry out of despair. They won't get away with this. I'll expose them to the end of the earth. I began recording them again after sending the video and address to someone. I'll document all the evidence. Fighting back the rising disgust and nausea, I waited. Finally, a long-awaited message arrived. I'm outside the front door now. Backup had arrived. The person I messaged was, of course, Dad. Now it's time for revenge. Inhaling deeply, I swung the closet doors open. Happy birthday, Ryan! I threw the gift I was holding at the two bewildered, naked individuals, unlocked the front door, and let Dad in. What? What's going on? Their mouths hung open, wordlessly shocked. Jessica, what are you doing? I thought you were on a business trip. Lauren, why? I came to surprise you on your birthday, but it looks like I'm the one who got surprised. Lauren, this is a misunderstanding. I saw everything from the closet, and I have evidence. Ugh, well, you see... Husband was so flustered he couldn't get any words out. Jessica, explain yourself! Listen, this isn't what it looks like. I didn't want this. It was Ryan who... I've already seen Lauren's video. No more useless excuses. This was the first time I ever saw Dad, usually a calm person, so incredibly angry. His eyes were filled with rage. Come on, Lauren. Forgive me, okay? Trying to hug me, he extended the same hand that had just been holding Mom. Disgusting! I don't want to be touched by trash like you. Don't say that. When I brushed his hand away, Mom stepped in to defend Ryan. How could you say that to Ryan? Apologize, now! Excuse me, you should be the one apologizing. What's this victim act after hurting me and Dad? And siding with Ryan at a time like this is pathetic. Don't you dare speak to Jessica that way! I was completely dumbfounded by the two of them covering for each other. Is it normal for a mom to get involved with her daughter's husband? Shut up! I regret ever giving birth to a loser like you. What? I wish you were as beautiful as me. Then maybe it wouldn't be such a waste. You should be grateful I even arranged your marriage to Ryan. Her words struck me deeply, making me falter for a moment. You'd never have gotten married otherwise. That's so cruel. Just as I was on the verge of tears. How could you say such things to your own daughter? Well, she's never been cute to begin with. Enough is enough! Ryan, you promised to make Lauren happy too. Dad's glare silenced both of them. Enough of this farce! Dad brought out 2 divorce papers. They were the ones he'd picked up from the courthouse on his way here, per my request. Both of you, sign these papers right now. Then I'll go ahead and get your marriage certificates issued. Dad tossed the necessary paperwork for issuing Ryan and Jessica's marriage certificate in front of them. Wait a minute, we don't have to get a divorce. Having a divorce on record will look bad for my job. But you said you wanted to get married quickly. That was just heat of the moment. Stop joking around. I never want to see your face again. Sign, now! When I tossed the ballpoint pen at him from the shelf, perhaps overwhelmed by my stern tone and attitude, he reluctantly signed. Please, I didn't want us to break up. Is it because I'm your ATM? You won't be able to pay back that $70K debt if we divorce, right? What's that debt for anyway? It's, you were into nightclubs a few years back, weren't you? What? You knew? I was going to let it go since you seem to have straightened out, but now you've done something even worse. Please overlook this too. I promise, I won't do it again. No chance. Dad also extended a ballpoint pen. Buckling under the pressure, Mom also signed the divorce papers. Once he had the 2 completed divorce applications in hand, Dad stood up. You don't ever have to come back. Same goes for you. And by the way, I'll be seeking alimony in the divorce proceedings. From both sides. I'll get a lawyer, so direct all communication that way. I'll inform your company that we're getting a divorce. Goodbye. Dad and I left the room, while the 2 of them continued to shout at each other. After that, through the lawyer, we sought $30,000 each in alimony during the divorce proceedings. Since Dad did the same, that's a total of $120,000 in alimony, just from the divorce case. Furthermore, Mom had an additional debt of $70,000. She paid it off in one go, but the place she borrowed from seemed a bit sketchy. My ex-husband felt uncomfortable at his job and resigned, moving away with Jessica. Rumor has it, it wasn't so much a move as they were taken somewhere by the people they borrowed money from. Ever since that day, I've been afraid to trust people. But fortunately, I'm supported by my kind-hearted dad and trustworthy colleagues. It may take time, but I believe a happy future awaits, and I'll keep moving forward.